Hi guys, it's Clarice, and this is the second video to the Love Day series that I'm doing with cute little paintings and cheesy brush lettering. For this one, we're going to do something super fun and simple. This is what we're going to be aiming for. I actually did this and then realized that it wasn't recording. My camera stopped recording because I ran out of space. So here we are doing it again. I would like to improve on this, so this is perfect. We're doing oranges or tangerines, and the lettering that we're going to be doing is Orange You Glad We Met. I know, cheesy, right? For the paper, we're using the Winsor & Newton cold press postcards. They're really cute and great for little paintings like this, and then you can send it off to a friend if you wish. For colors, I'm using like my dominant orange, which is going to be the main orange. I'm using a darker orange, a yellow. This is a dark brown for hints in the stem and leaves. This is like an olivey hunter green, and then this is more of a emeraldy, like rich green. Or maybe I'm getting these two names mixed up. But anyways, you'll see it when I put it on the paper. For brushes, I'm using my Squirrel Mop brush in the 1, and then a regular round in the 7. And then I have my water, and we're ready to start. So first things first, the first thing I want to do is get water on the paper. Actually, no, not get water on the paper. I want to get the color on the paper first. So what I'm going to do is go in and get some orange right here. And I want to get a nice dose of orange. And then I'm just going to lay it down. So the shape of an orange is mainly circular, but you can do it organic because they're not perfect. So I'm just spreading it down and trailing off. And then I'm going to dip it in the water and get some of the dark and go over that. And just swoosh it around. Go back into the water, and then I'm extending it to create this orangey shape. Okay, and then just spread it around nicely. And then I want to go back into my red or the dark orange, and I want to add more to the edge. And this will give the impression of shadow. So we want to play around with that. And then I'm going to wash off all the color from my brush. And with just water on the brush, I'm just going to lightly wipe off some of the color. And this essentially provides that hint of shadow. Sorry, not shadow. Light hitting the orange. And you can also just go and get some of the yellow and just trail it along if you want. I'm painting and I'm realizing that the yellow really isn't needed at all, but let's just add it in there for like a variation of color. So now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and do the stem. Oops, sorry. And for the stem, we're just going to go ahead and do the brown that I have first. And then I'm going to use the green, what I refer to as hunter green in the beginning. And it's super simple. For the stem, you're just literally doing a stem. Thicker at the bottom slightly. And if it touches the edge of the orange, that's fine. I like how it's branching off into the orange color. And now I'm going to go in for the green that I really like and hint it at the bottom and just put it around along the stem itself, and see how it's bleeding, and it just makes it look so much more realistic, even though this is a loose painting, guys, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Then for my first leaf, I'm just going to extend, press down, and do that. I like the effect that it's given here, so I'm not going to go over it, but feel free to go over yours if you do wish to do so. Then I'm just going to do the other side, and slightly trailing into the orange so it has that little bleed effect. Then I am going to go onto this side and do another leaf. And I want to extend from the stem off, adding some dark color to the tip. I want to narrow this bit and trail it off as best as I can, and just add some variation of green on this wet edge here of the leaf. So that's that. And then, you know, I like to do things in threes, so I'm just gonna end off with one more right here. And like I said, I like to start from the stem and trail off, so I'm gonna make this a smaller leaf. Trail off with the tip of your brush. And I can just leave this as a half leaf, because you know sometimes leaves fold, like to indicate like a fold in the leaf. So I'm just going to leave it that way, and I'm pleased with how this has turned out. Just a little more green at the tip here and we're good. So I'm good with this, and I am going to go ahead and do the next bit of the orange, which is going to be like half an orange. And essentially how we're doing that is we're just going to take this brush. Actually, no, let's use the Squirrel Mop brush, and we're going to have to use the tip of this brush so we can get things as thin as possible. And so I'm just going to go ahead and get a little bit of that orange and the yellow, and slowly do, or very lightly do, a circle, create a circle. And scared to do it almost because it's like nerve-wracking. Oh, a bit, kind of, maybe. No, you guys might be braver than I am. So I'm just doing this circle, and we're gonna pretend like this is facing towards us, just to make this perspectively easy on, and our lives easier as we're doing this. And then just taking this brush with just water on it, I'm just touching the edges because I want the edges to be nice and soft to give that effect of light to dark almost. Just like that. And now what I'm going to do is I will create the inner orange pegs, and for that we're just going to, and they're organic shapes once again, so it's super easy. All you're doing is you're just creating, find a center. Don't paint in all the pegs, so leave some white space. And then you can throw in some like variations of the orange so it looks nice. Then I'm going to do the darker orange here, and just maybe this is too dark, so I'm going to introduce some of the yellow in there. Oops, too much yellow. These are all issues that can surface while you're having a go at something as simple as an orange even. So just be mindful. So now because this is so orange, I'm just going to go ahead with the yellow and do a yellow one right here. Still too much water. So taking some out. That's why having your paper towel at the side is always very, very helpful. So just do variations of alternating the colors as best as you can. You can throw in some of the dark orange again. I kind of like how it looks, so I'm just going to keep that going. So mine isn't like a perfect, it doesn't look like perfect orange slices or pieces, whatever you want to call it, or pegs. My husband calls them pegs, so I kind of gravitate to that word. I always think it's funny when he calls it pegs. Orange pegs. Would you like an orange peg? Anyways, we're almost done. And there we go. That's that. What I'm going to end off with is this, just to show a little bit of shadow. One second. Before I do that, let me do this bit. All right, so just to hint at the shadow that it's leaning forward here, I'm just going to go in with just make this a little bit darker, and thankfully it's still damp, so it's blending in nicely. Not too thick like how I've done it, but you know, it's a loose drawing or painting, so it's okay. It's not the end of the world if you get it too thick. So this is essentially how I would do an orange. And to go with it, we're going to do some fun, cheesy lettering. So if any of you decide to make this a card that you want to send to someone, letting them know you care, here's some lettering for you. So the lettering we're doing is orange you glad we met. And so for the lettering bit, we're going to use a green. And so for the green, we're using my favorite green, which is, I'm just going to move that out of the way and get my green. And so we're going to start off with the word orange. And as I said in the previous video, when you're going down, you press down with your brush. And when you're going up, you go light on the tip of it. So you can get your thick and thin. And then we're going to go this way. So I'm going thin again because I'm going up, thick as I'm going down. And make sure your brush is hydrated as best as possible. I just wet a little bit here, so I'm taking that off. So this is ideally not the best brush for lettering because it's not giving me the best thin and thicks, but if you have a brush that's super thin and easy to maneuver, I would suggest start practicing with that. And again, lettering is also a form of artwork. So if you feel that you don't like the thin lettering and you want to go for something thicker and more playful, by all means, switch it up. You don't have to do what the norm is. You might just come up with something even better looking than this. And ultimately, it is the authenticity and the uniqueness of the artwork that makes it yours. So give it some character that reflects you and go with it. I'm not trying to achieve perfection here by any means. So, and that's how technically art should be. It's not perfect. You find the beauty in art, beauty of a piece of work based on the imperfections. So at least that's what I always think. Orange U. So I'll do this a little bit quicker. Orange U. Glad's gonna have to go a little bit further here. I'm gonna overlap it on the G, that's fine. Aren't you glad we met? We met the last two words. And I'm running out of space here, so I'm going to do it we on one line and then met on the other. And I just want to make it fit in this space. So it's more artsy looking as opposed to more typographically correct. Aren't you glad we met? I love how the green just blends in. I'm using two different variations of green here. If you see me dipping into one and then the other. And then for the question mark, I'm going to do it right here. And then you can kind of make a heart if you want. Or if you don't want to go that fancy, you can just do a regular dot. I like hearts. And cheesy lines like this. And declaring love. So that's me. Anyway, so this is the tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to comment in the comment section below. If you have a better brush to recommend for lettering, I am happy to entertain that and maybe even purchase it if I can afford it. And what else? Oh yes, feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I am happy to interact with you guys there and just get to know you guys and even see your artwork if you're comfortable enough to share it. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and we will chat soon. Bye.